Welcome home to the ride.
Everyone, hope you are doing well and welcome to day 2 of Epic Universe. Really excited to get going again. Yesterday was a little bit of a mixed bag, unfortunately, in terms of some good, some not so good. Quite a few rides were down, including some of the ones I was most anticipated for, but feeling really positive that today those rides are going to be open, that we're going to get on Donkey Kong, we're going to get on Stardust, and it's going to be a great day. But yeah, yesterday, from what I've read online, unfortunately, was one of the worst days of operations since preview started here at Epic Universe, so it can only get better, right? But so far, Hiccup's Wing Gliders is my number one. Be great to get on that again, but if not, then look forward to riding that in August with Joey. So this vlog is going to be a little bit more spoilery. The word spoilery than yesterday's. So what I mean by that is, like last week's vlog, there's going to be the lands, you're going to see lots of things that are going on, but I'm also going to now start to feed in some of the cues. I'm going to let you know maybe a couple more bits about what actually happens on the ride. Again, I won't go into full detail, there'll be no point of views if you're looking to avoid those in this vlog, but yeah, hopefully give you guys a little bit more of a feel of what it's going to be like. At the end of the vlog, which will hopefully be 9 PM tonight if I can last that long, I'll give you my full thoughts on Epic Universe. If there's any tips, I'll put those in. And then also my rankings so far. So both lands and rides. I'll give you an idea of what stood out to me. Obviously, I'm on my own this trip. It's going to be very different in August. You know, we're going to be coming as a family. Not going to be doing a single rider. The family rooms and child swap setup does seem to be identical. So if you're used to how that works at Universal Orlando, it's going to be the exact same at Epic Universe. But yeah, I think that's enough talking. So I'm going to walk to the parks now. In case you are wanting to see what the walk is like, I'll do that in fast speed. So I'm not going to take 10 minutes of your time in this vlog, but give you an idea. It's really, really simple. And yeah, the way it worked yesterday was they opened security and the turnstiles about 30 minutes prior to early park admission. We then went into a holding pen just outside Nintendo, and then at about 10 to 10, they let everybody in. Early park admission, you just need to flash your hotel room key, much like you do going into islands. The right-hand side of the holding pen was for hotel guests, and the left-hand side was just for general admission, so people who couldn't get into the park until 11 AM, they had to hang off to the left in the sun, unfortunately, so maybe plan for that if you're not staying on site until they were let out at 11 AM. But yeah, plan today is very much early park admission. Hopefully Donkey Kong is back open. That was closed completely yesterday. One of my most anticipated rides, that one. And then hopefully move on to Stardust shortly after. But yeah, I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. So it's 9 AM, so hopefully be letting us through security in the next 20-30 minutes or so. There's a security guard called Daniel out this morning who's been running things like a military operation, but so funny, honestly, like people have been taking selfies with him and everything. So if you see Daniel on security when you're getting ready to go into the park, you're in for a good time. But yeah, first in line. Hopefully there are lots of people that sprint past me to get to Nintendo in a little bit. Catch you on the inside. Oh, he's running. We've got a runner. Got some fast walkers. But we're in. Mad rush behind. More people running. Photo scanner worked first time today, so that was good. I wasn't one of the people that slowed others back. Right, let's head to Mario behind these runners.
Good morning, friends. Please make sure to have those hotel key cards out and ready. They will have to be a Universal property hotel key card. Thank you for having them out ready. Keep them out and ready for time.
Okay, so this is how early park admission works. So if you're to the left, as I mentioned earlier on, that's just for normal guests. Early park admission, you come down here and then you just queue until they're ready to open the land. So it's 9:46 now. Yesterday let us in about 9:50, so hopefully I haven't got to wait too long. And welcome to Mario. So down the stairs, and then over in that corner is where Donkey Kong is, which I believe is open. So let's go do Minecart Madness. And as you can see, it's literally where everyone else is heading this morning. So when this one's shut, Mario Kart gets really busy. But yeah, it's going to Donkey Kong Country. This little area of the land is unbelievable. Carts are going round the testing. We are doing it. Such high hopes for today. Like I said, yesterday was a little bit hit and miss, but I can tell already today is going to be a better day. The single rider is closed at the minute. So it is 9:50. They've just said that they're going to let people on at 10 AM. But yeah, if there's anything notable in the queue, I'll show it to you guys. Again, just a reminder that unlike last week's vlog, this one is going to have queue spoilers. So if that's something you don't want to see, then maybe skip forward a little bit. The AC is on point in here as well. So it's only 26 at the minute, starting to feel a little bit warmer, but yeah, really good AC. And we're in the temple, as you can see.
Look into his eyes, and he'll have you squawking like a parrot. Get it, you overgrown dodo!
Okay, so from entering the queue to riding was about 15 minutes, and that was a fun little ride actually. So you go on a ride vehicle of 4, so it doesn't really matter too much if you're on the front row or the back row. You get a great view regardless. And yeah, you're going on a little sort of minecart through the area. There's some, not steep drops, but there's some fun bits, let's call it. I don't know if that would either break your back or fix your back, but it's going to do something to your back. It's a little bit jerky. Okay, it's not the longest of rides, so I probably wouldn't want to wait too long. I can see the queue now is out the door, and it's 10:10, so 10 minutes into early park admission. Same way with Hagrid's, if you're at the front of the queue, you should get that done early park admission. Same for this. Okay, so I just had a quick look, and it's now got a 2-hour wait. So for me personally, it's a good ride. I'm not sure it's long enough for a 2-hour wait. Mario Kart showing a 45-minute wait, and Stardust is unfortunately still showing as delayed. So hopefully that one is going to come back later on today. But yeah, I'm going to go try single rider for Mario Kart, see how we get on, and then yeah, we'll see where we go next when more lands open at 11 AM. So 45 minutes to the right, express down the middle, and single riders over to the left. Doesn't matter which line you're in, you're going to get a nice view of the statue to start with. There we go, off to the left. The single rider yesterday was a walk-on. So hopefully it's not too bad today. So you're going to come round here, and then you're going to pick up a hat. Then when you sit down on the ride vehicle, you just clip the VR headset to this. I've heard different things from different people saying actually it's better to ride it just without this, and just take it for what it is rather than the VR effects on top. But yeah, I'll probably try both this ride and see how we get on. Okay, it's a change of plan. So Mario went up to 60 minutes just shortly after I walked in, and the single rider just wasn't moving at all. I think it would have probably been about an hour single rider. If I'm being honest, I think that ride is worth more than an hour wait, and when I've done it yesterday, it's not worth an hour wait to me today with such limited time here at Epic Universe. So just reactivated the Freestyle Cup. Got 2 days worth, so I don't need to do it tomorrow now. came out at just under $26. So as long as you're drinking quite a bit, you know, it's definitely good value for money. You do get ices with this cup as well. I haven't actually seen anywhere in Epic Universe that sells ices, so I'm sure there must be somewhere, and they would then be included. We're gonna head out of Nintendo now and have a wander around. Looks like Stardust is still down, so probably just go double check. That definitely is the case. And then maybe go queue outside Isle of Burke for that opening at 11 AM. And if it is, I'm gonna go straight to Hiccup's Wing Gliders. So it looks like Stardust Racers is still down. Oh, it's such an impressive looking coaster from the outside. Wow, cannot wait to ride it, but I don't know, I just feel like if it's not up first thing, I think it was down all yesterday, I'm not sure I'm fancying my chances, so it'd be great to see it testing, but yeah, not a lot going on down here at the minute. But yeah, it's such an impressive looking coaster, and I've heard it's a combination of Dueling Dragons meets Velocicoaster, so sounds good to me. Okay, so the team member said they're trying, which I guess is unsurprising. I asked him if it was the same issue as yesterday, and I think it is, but he didn't want to say that. What he basically said is until you see both coasters going round sort of dueling in testing mode, it probably means it's not going to open at any time soon. So he said, yes, keep an eye on it, which I will be doing. So just heading to Isle of Burke, How to Train Your Dragon portal here, and then from that land anyway, should get quite a good view of it if it does go up and running. But yeah, it'd be a real shame to come all the way here and not get that done, but you know, it's 10:30 in the morning, the park's open until 9 PM, so as long as I guess it's nothing major and they are actively trying to get it up and running, then hopefully we've got a good chance of riding it later on. But yeah, about 20 minutes or so on virtual queue for Ministry of Magic will open, so again, see how we get on with that. Yeah, so it's 10:50 and we are going in. If you want to meet Toothless, go to the ride. It's going to be a huge queue that way. If you are wanting to go ride a couple of attractions like Hiccup's Wing Gliders, which is the most popular ride in this bit, you want to go left. Welcome to Burke. As my understanding is this land is between movies 2 and movie 3. I've only seen movie 1 myself, but you get the gist. You know, really well detailed, and I think potentially my favourite land so far. Hiccup's Wing Gliders is definitely my favourite ride so far anyway. Yeah, not too bad a queue. I don't know if this means I'm going to be riding in and around virtual queue, drop in for Ministry of Magic, but we'll see how we get on. Okay, so Wings of Gliders is down at the minute, but there is one testing, so hopefully it won't be too much longer until it opens up, so just going to wait here. So the guy had literally just finished saying he doesn't know when he's going to open. And they're like, okay, coming in. So, let's go. Walk through the queue. Gonna have to use the lockers, which will slow me down a little bit, but hopefully it might still be off before the virtual queues drop for Ministry. Yes, I made it to the front of the line. I could have been on the first ride of the day, but opted for front row, so just waiting for the second one. Ministry of Magic virtual queue popped up. There was one time each time, but the time kept changing, so about 5 times I clicked it, went to click confirm, and it said no longer available. So I was literally on it within seconds, and only one guest as well, and just still couldn't get any availability. So we'll see what happens at the next drop, but I'm very optimistic. Another absolutely amazing ride on the Wing Gliders, and I don't think I've seen a person yet come off without the biggest smile on their face, saying how amazing it is. Yeah, so there's a scene as you come round with a couple of animatronics, which is really good. Straight into the first launch, some good speed, some good turns, and then there is a second launch, but before you get to that there's a rollback, which the first time I did, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I've done it 3 times and it's happened each time, so I'm guessing it is. Yeah, great animatronics again, just yeah, unbelievable ride. I'll put a few clips in now of the lockers so you can see the size of those, how it kind of works, but they're all completely free, and every single attraction that I've been on so far has had those lockers sort of mid-queue. And exit into the gift shop. So there was a flash, so there's a camera that did take a picture, but I've got no idea where that picture would be, as it's not in the gift shop. But yeah, lots of cool How to Train Your Dragon merch. I'm not going to spend too much time looking at that now, but if that's your thing, there's plenty of it. So as I mentioned in last week's vlog, all the areas have a freestyle flavour, which is unique to them. The one in How to Train Your Dragon is of a lemony flavour, is quite nice, but also the restrooms are all themed to their respective area as well. So none of them are mind-blowing in terms of the level of theming, but that one had quite a cool mosaic, as you can see from that video. Yeah, I think I'm going to have a quick look at Fire Drill now, see what that wait is. I think it's a ride you'd probably do with like a 10-15 minute sort of wait as opposed to anything longer than that. So we'll see how we get on. Got a huge horn going on here. I'll show you guys what it looks like. The whole park is alive with sound. Not to the point where it's too loud and you can't take things in, but there's definitely a lot of music, there's a lot of sound effects. So if that's something you're not a fan of, then Epic Universe potentially may not be the best park to be in. But if you like to be immersive in all the sounds, yeah, there's so much going on. There's also so many dragons just popping about, all sort of animatronic, sort of interactive doing things. Yeah, dotted all about around the park. So yeah, this is a land that you definitely want to spend a lot of time in, having a walk around, you know, eating, drinking. Fire Drill is only a 5-minute wait, so let's go take another one off the list. And this is one where there's no height requirements, so anyone can do this. So come August, I'm sure we'll be doing this one with Elle. For those of you who don't know, we'll be 18 months at that point. So yeah, it's a family-friendly ride. It's a boat ride. I've heard you get a little bit wet, but nothing too crazy. I'll try and do some filming if I'm allowed at the same time as riding. But obviously if no cameras are allowed, then I won't. It's a Fire Drill, pretty fun little ride actually. I thought it was going to be incredibly short. I thought it was going to be like 1 minute and done, but it lasted a few minutes and yeah, nice fun little ride. So what you're doing is you've got basically like a water gun and you're shooting targets. Now there's no points associated with hitting the targets, you're literally just doing it for fun. But yeah, visually it's quite pleasing. Even if you don't want to fire the water gun, I think you get something out of it. A little bit damp, certainly not Popeyes in terms of wetness level, but yeah, fun little ride. The only thing I will say is it certainly wasn't a 5-minute wait. I think I waited maybe 15-20 minutes and they've still got 5 minutes listed now when the queue is probably twice as long as when I entered. So the skeptical side of me thinks they're being tactical here because everything else is like 1 to 2 hour waits. If they put that 5 minutes, that'll make people feel better. Right, I'm gonna go have a quick look at some of the snacks in the shop now. I'm not sure I'm going to buy anything yet because I might get lunch in Monsters shortly. I'll show you guys what there is to give you an idea of some of the food options. Okay, so nothing really there that was tickling my fancy too much, but hopefully give you guys an idea of what some of the snack sort of options are. So Hiccups Wing Glide is currently 130 minutes to give you an idea of how busy it is, especially with Ministry of Magic not opening until 3 PM. With Stardust being down, there's not quite as many rides to absorb some of the crowds. Mario Kart was also down, I'm not sure if it still is or not. So yeah, I think it's time to have a wander out of here, refill the Freestyle Cup, and I think head to Monsters. Maybe do the single rider queue, which as I mentioned in last week's vlog, it's like literally about 10%, 15% of the wait time. Really, really quick, really efficient, and such a good ride. How amazing does that ride look? As you can see, team members just stood up there, unfortunately not doing a lot. Really not fancy my chances, but I feel like just getting either Stardust or Ministry of Magic, if I can get a virtual queue, just makes such a difference in terms of the feel of the day and how positive it's been. So fingers crossed, but yeah, definitely no sign of them testing any ride vehicles at the minute. One of the other great things about Epic Universe is more often than not there seems to be some live music going on here. I relate all the time I walk past, there's been some good live music anyway. ordered some food from the Burning Blade Tavern, I think it's called. So I'm going to try and find out where that is. I think it's down here towards the left. I got some like cheese bites and I got a burger as well. So hopefully both tasty. I think it's about $26 or so for the two combined. So I'll let you guys know whether I think that's worth it or not. Okay, so we've got the cheddar bites and we've got the burger. And that burger is pretty tiny. I don't know if it's picking it up on camera or not, but yeah, pretty small. To be honest, pickup was a bit of a shambles. Even the guy working there was apologising and saying it's not the best. Yeah, they were just ignoring orders that were ready. They were bumping people up the queue when other people just giving their name and were waiting and things. Wasn't the best. But there's only like 2 tables to sit out as well, so I'm just here now. Quite near Monsters Unchained, but just no shade whatsoever. Yeah. Hopefully the food tastes good at least. Right, the bites were good. Probably the first thing I've eaten here so far that I'd actually choose to get again. They were like $12, so a little bit expensive, but you got quite a few of them at least. World's smallest burger. Let's give it a go. Decent theme park burger. Yeah, it's good. It's a theme park burger. You can tell it's a theme park burger, but it's tasty. But yeah, just the size. It's about the same size as a hamburger from McDonald's, which costs what, £1? It's good at least. And that's exactly how hot it feels here at Epic University as well. Right, so I'm not entirely sure why that burger came with crisps rather than fries or chips. Yeah, it was fine. Probably wouldn't have it again, to be completely honest. Just a little bit on the small side, but you know, if they change chips out for chips, then maybe I could be tempted back in. But yeah, otherwise gonna head to Monsters now, probably do single rider, get done quite quickly. But I will say, that is a genuine concern I've got as it stands at the minute of bringing the kids into this park of how hot it is, that there's so little shade. Honestly, in August when it's gonna be even hotter than it is now, like, it's quite a scary thought actually, especially like if Elle's in a pram and stuff. It's, yeah, don't think they've designed it particularly well, but hopefully lots of people are giving feedback and you know they're listening to it and they're going to do something about it. But it is hot. So into the single rider queue, you do get to see one of the elements from the main queue in a window, which is going to come up on our left hand side shortly. But I'd definitely recommend checking out the main queue at least once. Lots of things going on in the main queue. Lots of impressive stuff. There is pre-shows as well. Versus the single ride, all you do is walk past this particular room. Right, so just we're in Monsters again, and that is such a good ride. So imagine the cook around from Forbidden Journey, but with very, very little screens. And when there are screens, it's just adding to the animatronics as opposed to being the main focal point. Lots of different monsters in there, but yeah, some absolutely amazing animatronics. There are a couple of bits where you do get jerked about a little bit, but nothing too major. Definitely one of the marquee attractions here at Epic Universe. It did break down a little bit whilst I was in the queue, so maybe it's around for about 15 minutes or so, but it did come back online afterwards. So yeah, not too bad. Unlike, if I'm being honest, the state of the rest of the park. So I appreciate by the time this vlog comes out, Epic Universe is going to be open. But I've just put on Instagram, to be honest, if you're on the fence whether you should come or not for previews, I just personally wouldn't bother. We've just had Monsters Unchained go down, Donkey Kong's down again, Stardust is down, obviously all down yesterday as well. Ministry of Magic doesn't open until 3 and it's damn near impossible to get a virtual queue for. Mario Kart's a 2-hour wait. Hiccup's Wing Gliders is a 2-hour wait. You know, it's nice to come and walk around and things, but even putting the money to one side, to be honest, the fact that, you know, I've left my family to come here and this is the state of the park, honestly, I don't know how this is going to open to a lot more people in 2 weeks unless they make some drastic changes, because it is really struggling. And I don't know what it is, to be honest. I don't know if it's just bad luck, I don't know if it's the heat, I literally don't know, but if it is the heat, there's only one way that's heading, and that's going to be even hotter as we get into the summer. But yeah, the team members are good, you know, everyone's trying their best, but it's just not been an amazing experience so far, to be honest. And I was so excited again, looking forward, thinking today was going to be better, and yes, we managed to get Donkey Kong done, so you know, that was a win in that respect. But think I need Stardust to come back up, or I need a virtual queue for Ministry of Magic. I need something, I think, to make me leave this park happy. If I'm being honest, if it wasn't for paying, you know, like 90-95 pounds each day, you know, if this was included in the 14-day ticket, a standard like it is going to be from next year, you can come as many times as you want. I'd have already gone back to the hotel, or I'd have just gone back to Universal Studios or Islands of Adventure, to be honest. The only reason I'm staying is because I paid so much money. I think, you know, it was the main reason for the trip. Otherwise, yeah, I'd just go do something else, to be honest, and try again later. It's a struggle. But anyway, let's have a wander out of Monsters and see what else is going on. You know, I'm not trying to be negative, as I guess a lot of you guys will know watching the vlog. I'm like Mr. Universal. You know, in so many ways, Universal can't do wrong. But yeah, it's not even that it's just not lived up to high expectations. It's just the fact just so many things are down or not working right. And, you know, don't give me the whole technical rehearsal, because for one, maybe 2 rides I can get that, but when like half the park's down and things, it's not good. Stardust still seems to be down. There's a Harry Potter show in 25 minutes. Haven't seen the Fantastic Beasts one yet, so I think that might be a good idea next. And just because it's caught my eye as I've been passing, if you come towards Grand Helios, at the very back of the park, there's a family care centre as well. So if you do need, you know, facilities, or you do need a moment, then that potentially could be a place that's good to come and explore. Looks like first aid's back there as well. So yeah, very back at the park, next to Helios. That's where the family care centre is. So Ministry of Magic ride is just down here to your left, and then the Fantastic Beasts show is here just as you come into the land. That was a really good show. As someone who likes the Wizarding World, Fantastic Beasts maybe a little bit, but the show really good. So again, I won't go into too much detail, but there's 2 parts. There's like a pre-show, which you stand up for, and at that point I was worried, am I going to have to stand up for the entire show? But that kind of sets the scene. You see one character from Fantastic Beasts, and then the second bit of the show, you go into a theatre, you sit down, and that's where you see a lot more characters from Fantastic Beasts. So yeah, whether you prefer that one or you prefer How to Train Your Dragon, probably just depends which you prefer in terms of franchises. I think for me, oh, you know what, I don't know. I'm going to sit on that fence and I'd say both of them. So it's absolutely roasting still here. 31 degrees, but it feels pretty warm. It's 20 past 2 at the minute. Let's have another wander around. I think Stardust is still down, unfortunately. And Epic Universe is the park that takes as much as it gives. So obviously I had a really good show there at Fantastic Beasts. And then they just confirmed that Stardust is down all day. So 2 days, not a single ride on the attraction I'm probably most looking forward to. Oh, it's starting to rain. Right, so I spent the last hour and a half or so in guest services. I think I was nice. I tried to be nice anyway. Just saying how things have gone today, how things went yesterday. And tried initially to give me a free ticket to come back to Epic, which I would have accepted, but to be honest, if it's going to be another day like the last couple of days have been, then I'd rather not waste some of my studios and islands days doing it, to be honest. What they did offer me, which I'm happy with, is a refund for yesterday, so at least it feels like, you know, we're paying for 1 day and getting the 2 days access. Yeah, I've not been here for 2 full days and with things being down, but yeah, it feels like a fair compromise, to be honest. Obviously I would have much preferred to have come out here and had 2 amazing days. That wasn't meant to be, but at least, you know, that's $130 back for yesterday, so that's something. And because I was there for so long as well sorting it out, they gave me 2 free express passes. So they can't be used on Donkey Kong, they can't be used on Ministry of Magic, obviously. But yeah, they can use on any other attraction here. So as long as it doesn't storm and this rain passes, I think maybe a couple more rides on Hiccups, and that would be good. So yeah, not having the best day, not having a bad day though. It's just annoying that Stardust is down. Obviously Ministry is damn near impossible. Other rides keep coming up and down. But yeah, I'm gonna go hide because this rain is starting to get pretty heavy. Alright, time to go ride Hiccups again. Currently showing, I think, about a 2-hour wait. So hopefully with Express, should be in about 20 minutes or so. But yeah, this land, I think I mentioned it earlier on. If not, I mentioned it yesterday, but I think it's my favourite land, to be honest. I think Monsters is going to be interesting if I'm still here at night time. Really get a sense for what that's like in the atmosphere. This land is just something else. Obviously the film series is unbelievable. I don't think I've met anyone who said they're not a fan of How to Train Your Dragon, but this land I think is my number one. What we have got dotted around the park is lots of interactive things. So, for example, if I stop that, you can hear it stops. But then if I gradually do it, okay, 100-minute wait. Let's see how we get on. It is 2 minutes past 4. So good. I think we're 12 minutes in the end with Express Pass, so yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have waited 2 hours for it, but yeah, really happy. Good use of 12 minutes. Use the lockers that time with my barcode on my pass. I'd say it is quicker. So if you've got your lanyard with your ticket or on your pass, kind of with the barcode showing, to be honest, I just click the bottom of the locker screen, just click, scan my barcode, and it opens a lot quicker. There are some dark clouds about. I'm not sure if a storm's coming or not, so I think what I'm going to do is just quickly go around again, get another ride done. This thing's probably the best use of Express Pass, especially because I absolutely love that ride. And then if I need to go and do some more indoor rides later and it's storming, then so be it. But yeah, I think it's the only way in reality I'm going to get to ride it again this trip, so go use that Express Pass. Another cracking ride done, another 10-15 minute wait or so. Little tip, if you are going with children or you just want the best view of a certain animatronic, I would sit on the right hand side. And also, just before you get onto the ride, they split people into 2 different lines. If you are an odd amount of guests, so a party of 1, 3, 5, you'll go to the left. If you're an even, 2, 4, 6 to the right. And because of the layout of the coaster, if you're an odd number, you'll get on a lot faster. So every time I've been on, actually as a party of 1, I've gone to the left, and that line just moves so much quicker. So I appreciate you can't really ditch your party if you're an even number to get it odd, but just know that if you are odd, you're going to be going on the left hand side of the queue, and you'll get on that ride a little bit quicker. So I'm going to head over to Monsters now, I think, have another go on Monsters Unchained. 35 minutes, so I may well do the normal queue just to see that again, as well as the attraction. I don't know how long the vlog is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop vlogging for now, just enjoy the park and take it all in a little bit more. And then if I do anything new later on, so for example, go into Monsters at night time, you know, the scare actors are out, other effects going on. If I come back and do the How to Train Your Dragon show, which I did yesterday, if I can do that maybe at 6:30, then I'll jump back on and I'll give you guys some updates, share some thoughts. Otherwise, I'll just catch up with you in a bit if I end up doing anything new for the vlog. Well, it didn't take me long to pick up the camera again, so I've just read Monsters. I did the normal queue because it was relatively short, I think 35, but I think it probably was about 15-20 minutes. Pretty much just walked all the queue and then straight on. So I'll put some clips in now of what that queue looks like, and as always, exit through the gift shop.
Emergency heater. Sunshine. According to plan. I'm ready for that. Yes, doctor. The doctor is here now. A monster. You're afraid of what you've done. But you will see. There's nothing to fear. Show them. What's doctor? Lower the lights. Now. These people are friends.
So I've just come out of the toilet and there's an experience I want to tell you, but don't worry, it's not about being in the actual cubicle. So there was a guest stood just outside the toilet who must have been doing the makeup experience. I think he went top tier on it, and he was the spitting image of Dracula. The face was spot on, the clothes were spot on, like he looked absolutely amazing, and if he was just walking around the park you'd very much think he would work here. So yeah, I think it's like $150 or something crazy to do the full thing, but you really do look impressive. The only thing I will say is if you're here to drink alcohol, as soon as you've had your makeup done, from the experience, then you're not allowed to purchase any more alcohol. They won't serve you. So yeah, I mean, I don't drink here. The full dress up and makeup's not for me, but if you really want to get into monsters and embrace it and that's your thing, it does look amazing. Josh's Adventure, so it's a cute little kids ride. You want to be waiting no more than 10-15 minutes really, unless you've got kids who really want to do it. It's slow moving, you get some pretty good views of Nintendo, but other than a couple of animatronics, there's not a huge amount to see in the actual ride itself, to be honest. So 25 minutes until the next and last lot of virtual queues drop. So I'm going to head over to Harry Potter now. Just be sort of in and around the area really. Sorry if this vlog hasn't been the most positive. There's definitely been some ups. There's been more ups than yesterday. Yeah, it hasn't quite turned out to be the couple of days at Epic that I was hoping for. But between the 2 days, I've still got quite a bit done. You know, it's been a good experience, but maybe with Stardust being down in particular, it's maybe not quite the one I was hoping for. But you know, if I somehow manage to get Ministry of Magic now, I'm sure that'll put a real positive end on the day. So didn't manage to get one, but I've just seen something absolutely unbelievable. So there's a guy who had a wad of hundreds who really wanted one. There was somebody who said they've only managed to get one and they needed two. So they were looking for a +1, and this guy paid her $200 for the one ticket she had to ride the Ministry of Magic. So, wow. Clearly he wanted it, but he literally, $200, he had cash in his hand he gave to that woman. Crazy. So something unbelievable has just happened. Somebody on Instagram, the Nick Chandler, amazing human being, has messaged me randomly asking if I need a virtual queue pass, which I do, and he has sent me one for 7:15. So as long as he's not pulling my pants down right now, and that is the case, I may well be riding the Ministry of Magic shortly, which is unbelievable to think. So 55 minutes, so I'm just going to hang around this area now, maybe go to some of the shops. But yeah, if that man has somehow got me onto Ministry of Magic, oh, I'm going to be so happy, and honestly appreciate it so much. So fingers crossed. And we're in. Whoa! excited. That queue is unreal. Well, that is the Ministry of Magic ridden, and what an experience that was. Everything from the queue to the rides, mixture of physical sets, animatronics, screens, the movement of the ride vehicle. I want you guys to experience it for the first time, so I'm not going to say too much, but wow. Wow. For me, better than Monsters. Not sure if it's my number one, I'm not sure if it's my number two. I'll reflect on that, I'll have a think, but wow. So thankful that a certain someone sent me that virtual queue. I've been trying constantly the last couple of days, wasn't happening, but wow. Thank you so much. I think it's chucking it down outside, so maybe not get anything else done now, but that's a great way to end the day at Epic. So I'll catch up with you in a bit with my final thoughts. Obviously there's been some ups, there's been some downs, but that one was definitely an up. There's something about it being a little bit wet, cloudy, a little bit cooler. Just takes it to the whole of a level. Yeah, I must admit, there's not a huge amount in this land if you're not doing the ride. But having now done the ride and, you know, in an amazing mood, this land looks stunning. Right, so I'm not sure how much is going to be going on in here, but it's starting to get dark. That portal looks even more amazing than before, so hopefully some bits to see, and then I think I'm going to call it a day. Wow. Definitely feels a little bit more sinister at night. Does feel a little bit like walking through a scare zone at Halloween Horror Nights. Well, Monsters is only a 20-minute wait, so it is so tempting, but I have done it 5 times. I think it'd be quite nice to end on the Ministry of Magic, so I'm going to call it a day there. I've reflected a little bit. Obviously we still need to ride Stardust, so it could go either way. I think at the minute it's going to be Monsters number 3, Hiccups Wing Gliders number 2, and Ministry of Magic number 1. Amazing ride. This land at night is unlike anything else. It's got such a different atmosphere to it. It's crazy. Right, so gonna wrap up this vlog here. My last day, I think, at Epic Universe. If Stardust came up tomorrow and it was really reliable, there was a chance I could come back at the weekend, but at the minute the plan is very much to hit Islands, hit Studios, go to Volcano Bay. So I think I'll leave Epic where it is until August. But yeah, there's been some unbelievable highs. You know, I think there's at least a couple of rides there that could potentially make my overall top 5. Really enjoyed some of them. There's been some rides that have been a bit average. There's been some rides that are very short. The crowds I don't think have been too bad, all things considered. That was obviously a concern. I think the bit that's made it feel busy is the downtime of rides and the reliability, and I think we're 2 weeks out from opening. I don't think the park's in a great place, to be honest with you. Food was a little bit mixed. Probably more on the average side than great. So that was a little bit of a letdown. But yeah, obviously I've had an amazing end to the day. I managed to ride Hiccups as well a couple of times, but that was purely down to the Express, which I wouldn't have had otherwise if it wasn't for yesterday maybe not being so good. and the team member helping me out with that in guest services. But yeah, if I'm being honest, I don't think I can recommend Epic Universe right now until some of these teething issues have been sorted. You know, you are taking a little bit of a gamble of whether it's going to be good or not. I mean, Ministry of Magic goes down after this week until the opening anyway. So, you know, that was a big highlight for me just now. So that's, I mean, it's pretty impossible to get the virtual queue as it is, but then that's definitely going to be off the cards. So I think Epic's got potential. I think it does need to grow a little bit. I think in the coming years, if we do get an expansion plot or two, then that will definitely help out. When all rides are running, I think that will definitely help out. But yeah, better day today than yesterday. I don't know my ride tally, I'll put it up there at the end of the video. But yeah, it's been good. It's cooled down now, obviously it's getting dark, it's rained. It's been a good day. Has Epic lived up to the hype? Maybe not for me. But had I did Ministry of Magic a couple more times, Stardust I'm sure is going to be one of my, if not my favourite coaster. It could have been very different. So yeah, Stardust, we'll have to wait till August. Cannot wait to do that, hopefully during the day and the night. But otherwise, it's me checking out of Epic Universe. So if you have liked this video, please consider giving it a like. Comment down below. What I would absolutely love if you've made it to the end of the vlog is to comment down below how amazing Victoria is for letting me come and spend a couple of days here and a couple of days at the other parks. I'll be back next week with early park admission. That's the plan for tomorrow, into Islands. Maybe nip into Studios before coming back to Stella Nova. Checking out, but I want to spend some time at the pool as well. I'm going to try the food tonight, so I'll let you know how that is. Get a little bit more of a feel for Stella Nova, but yeah, initial impressions of the resort is I think if we were doing a primarily Epic trip, that's probably where we'd look to stay. So far so good. But once we've checked out, then I'm going to be heading it over to Cabana Bay. Checking in, probably head back to the parks. I think they shut a little bit early, so try to get some time, maybe see the parade. And then yeah, maybe a movie around the pool at Cabana Bay. But yeah, I'll give you the room tour. But anyway, let's wrap up now because this vlog could have been a long one. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.